Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things I have changed in my makeup routine throughout the course of the last year or so. I've noticed myself kind of transitioning into doing certain things, into using certain products that I didn't used to use, partly because my preferences have changed, but also I find as I've gotten older, there are just things that I feel like I need to do that I did not used to do, or things I need to use that I did not used to use. Maybe I'm over explaining things. I have a tendency to do that. I'm just going to share with you guys the changes that I have made throughout the course of the year when it comes to my makeup application. Hope you guys are excited. I can't wait to share them with you. But before we get into it, a special welcome if you are a new visitor here. Very happy to have you here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll consider subscribing before you leave. Also, make sure your notifications are turned on. And with that said, let's just get right into it. All right, so there are 5 things that I have kind of made changes in. And the first one is primer. I, for a long time, just was not interested in using a primer. I would try one out and I just didn't really feel like it did anything for me. Now, there's 2 parts to why I think this has changed. Number one, I've gotten older. My skin, which has always been dry, has gotten even more dry. I am much more lined. I have more texture than I used to have. And all of these things combined together or add to me kind of feeling like I need a primer or that it can benefit me in some way. But also, I think it's one of those things that it is a subtle difference. It's not something that you notice immediately for the most part. I mean, I haven't found a primer that just magically like erases things or makes me look significantly better, but the changes are subtle, but I do notice some differences. Not necessarily in the longevity of my makeup, but how my foundation applies. So I love using a more hydrating primer underneath my foundation. I find myself doing it most of the time that I'm applying my makeup, unless it's just a really average day where I'm just throwing some BB cream on. Now, I personally love a good hydrating primer, something that's gonna hydrate my skin. Some of my favorites are the Flower Beauty Priming Whip, the 4-in-1 by Maybelline. I love my Primerizer by Smashbox, and the Glotion Primer by Tarte. Oh, and one more here. This is actually the one I'm currently using. This is the Ofra Cool as a Cucumber Primer, which I don't think is available anymore, but I do love that one. I'm working my way through that. I'm really not that picky. As long as it's something that's going to give my skin some added hydration, it really helps my foundation to look much better on my skin. One thing I want to note is I am finding myself getting a lot more texture here in the center of my face. I think I mentioned recently that some of the foundations that I love are emphasizing that texture right there on the side of my nose, and I think it's just because my texture is just getting worse as I get older. So I'm starting to dabble in some pore filling primers. I haven't tried a lot out. I haven't been wildly impressed with a few that I have tried, but that's something that I'll likely get into in more detail in a coming video, and that I'll probably be trying out more in the year 2023. So if you have any recommendations for a good like pore filling or pore minimizing primer, I would love to hear them. Second change I have made in my makeup routine, and this one I think has been a couple years, it's kind of come along, but it's now become one of the most crucial items of makeup that I put on my face, and that is a good lip liner. This is the one that I'm wearing on my lips today. I just mentioned this in my last favorites video. I love this lip liner. I love any good lip liner that's going to be a little bit more long wearing. I mean, any lip liner in general is great, but I prefer the ones that last longer. This one lasts really well. It's the Natasha Denona I Need a Rose Lip Crayon. She has a lot of different lip liner formulas. I noticed the reviews on her lip liners are very hit and miss, and I think it's because some of them are meant to be more long wearing like this one, and some of them don't say that they are. So I imagine that's kind of the big difference. I've mentioned some of my other favorites. I love the Charlotte Tilbury lip liners. I have a couple of them. They are very good and long wearing, but if you're looking for one on a budget, my very favorite is the LA Girl Nonstop Nude lip liner. This is the only shade from them that I found that is like a really good nude shade for me. A lot of the other shades are too pink or too orange or too dark, but this one does have really excellent staying power. Now, the reason a lip liner has become so important to me, it's partly due to age. I mean, I've never had full lips, but I find as I get older, I wouldn't say that my lips are like necessarily deflating, but they just don't look even as plump as they used to look. And I really feel like having a little tiny bit of a very subtle overline on my lips helps them to look so much better. I feel like it takes years off of my face. It gives them a little bit of color, which they desperately need. That's another thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about. It's not just that your lips get a little bit more lined and dry as you get older, but I feel like they lose some of their natural color. They look a little bit kind of gray. That's probably because they're so very dry, which my lips are always dry, especially this time of year. So having something that's gonna just add a little bit of color, that's gonna last for a good long while, is such a lifesaver for me. It makes such a big difference in my face, and I don't know that I would have noticed that if it wasn't for me filming YouTube videos. I spend a lot of time staring at my face, which is probably not the best for my mental health, but I kind of feel like I've kind of gotten used to it. But you do notice things about your face. When you're staring at an image of yourself for a couple hours a day, you notice those things that make a difference. And lip liner is one of the things over time that I realized, wow, I look so much better when I have a little bit of a lip line going on than when I just slap on just something basic like some lip gloss or even a lipstick. Nothing beats having a tiny bit of an overline. Definitely Definitely one of the most underrated products out there. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, people would talk about lip liners and I kind of would think of them in the same way that I think of like setting powders or setting sprays. I just kind of was not that interested in them. But over time, as I've used them more, I've learned that they really do make a big difference. So I would highly recommend any lip liner will do, but especially like these three are some of my favorites because they do last so long. Change number 3 is one of my best discoveries from the year 2022. And as someone that has for years, decades even, been against false lashes, this one might shock you. It is false lashes, but not just any false lashes. These are corner lashes. So these have 2 sets. Actually, I'm wearing one of these right now. This is them. Sorry, they're kind of like who opened this box? An animal. So these ones are from Eylure. They come with a 3/4 lash set and then a half lash set. So I'm wearing the half lashes. They're my favorite. They basically start at the center of your lash line and then just cover your outer corner. This is the way, for me, eyelashes were meant to be worn. And there's so many things about these that I love. Number 1, I can actually put them on. I've had so much trouble over the years attempting to put on false eyelashes, only to learn that number 1, I can't do it. Like, I don't know what is wrong with me to where I can't get my eyelashes to stick. Is it my eye shape? Is it my skill level? I've tried for years, and then when I have successfully put them on, I don't think they look very good on me. They just really close off my eyes. So these lashes have solved all my conundrums when it comes to false eyelashes. They're much easier to put on. I've always had trouble with the inner corner of a set of lashes, and these basically take out that one factor that keeps me from being able to successfully apply them. And also it keeps that inner part of my eye open so my eyes don't look so closed off. But I love how they look. They just accentuate that outer corner of your lash, give you that kind of more dramatic cat eye look, which I absolutely love. They're really easy to put on. If you, like me, have given up on false lashes, give these a try. They are so good. I really need to explore and find some other brands. I know a lot of different brands do the like half or quarter sets of lashes. I just haven't tried any other ones. I think I bought like 3 or 4 boxes of these when I found these at my Marshalls. And I'm on my last box right now, so I really need to figure out some other ones, and I'll let you guys know if I find any others that I love just as much, because these are a little bit hard to find. If I can find them, I'll link them down below. But I love them so much. They are so quick and easy to apply, and aren't they beautiful? I just think these add so much to your eye look. The next change that I made this last year is in regards to my brows. Now, I don't have a specific like product or technique that I'm even recommending to you guys, only that brows in general have become more of a focus for me this last year. I just think having a really nice brow does so much in shaping your face, and I don't quite even know exactly what that is. I have a lot of products that I love. I love my Benefit Skinny Brow Pencil, my Ulta Beauty Brow Pencil. I have a couple brow pens that I've been enjoying, some tinted brow gels that I have a couple that I really like. I like this new one from Uoma Beauty. It's a little bit more wet looking. That's the one I'm wearing in my brows today, along with a little bit of my Benefit Brow Pencil I have kind of up through my arch right there. But probably more than anything, the thing I find to be most essential for my brows is some sort of waxy brow product. I've mentioned a few. I'm sure you're familiar with these if you've been watching me for a while. This is my e.l.f. Shape and Stay Brow Wax. This is a quick and easy one. The e.l.f. Brow Lift is a great one. The ABH Brow Freeze. Any one of these will work, and it's the first thing I put in my brows to give my brows that upright kind of brushed up look, which my brows hate to do. They have a really hard time staying upright, and the only thing that's going to get them to stay that way is a brow wax. The reason I'm mentioning this as a change for me is a couple of years ago, there were times I wouldn't even do my brows, even in YouTube videos when I was doing makeup on camera. Sometimes I would forget to do my brows, and that would never happen nowadays. In fact, if I was forced to choose between mascara and eyebrows, that would be a tough choice for me. I'm not sure which one I would pick. There was a day that would have been a no-brainer for me, obviously mascara, but I've now learned that doing my eyebrows is a very essential part of my makeup look, even if I'm being very minimal with my makeup. And that brings us to the last change that I've made in my makeup routine this last year, and that is in regards to contouring. There were a couple years ago that I did not like contouring. Most products I found were way too ashy for me. I have kind of a longer face. I'm a little bit older. I have kind of harsher features naturally, so I don't feel like too much contouring is not going to help me. It's just going to make me look hollow or scary. But that said, a tiny bit of contouring on me, if I'm doing like an all-out makeup look, something more glamorous maybe for a special occasion, I do like to do a tiny bit of contouring in addition to my bronzer and my blush and my highlighter. I know, very high maintenance of me. 4 products on the cheeks, that seems a little overboard, but adding just like the tiniest bit of contour just right here and along my temples, even sometimes on the sides of my nose and under my chin, it does make a difference. Like, it really does help to shape your face. And I especially recommend it if you're either doing something more glamorous for a party or a special occasion, or if you're getting your picture taken. it makes a big difference. So a couple things I like. I am very picky with my contour products. I don't like anything too dark or too ashy. Probably the one I like the very most is the Kiko Sculpting Touch Contour Stick. This is the most perfect shade of contour. It's kind of light. It's not overly cool, but it's not overly orange. It's not overly dark. It gives me the perfect amount of contour. This is the one that I'm wearing on my temples and on my cheeks today, along with like a buttload of other products. Don't say buttload, Mandy. It's one of those phrases that I use that is so weird. Along with a whole bunch of other makeup products. A couple others that I really like. This one by Hourglass. This is a little bit deep for me. I have to be light-handed with it. This is the Bronzer in Diffused Bronze Light. Very good shade for contouring. I really like the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. If you have very fair skin, this is the ultimate contour for someone with fair skin. This is just the lightest shade. And then this right here, this is the Cotton Contour in the shade, oh, I forget the name of the shade. I think it's called Smoked Hazel. It's a very, very soft shade. It actually reminds me a lot of the Film Star Bronze and Glow, very similar to that one. Very nice and light, very subtle. It's not gonna be too dramatic, but it gives you just the tiniest bit of something extra that makes your makeup look just like a little bit extra special. It's a subtle difference, but it's definitely there. And that is gonna do it, you guys. Those are the changes that I have made to my makeup and my makeup routine over the last year or so. I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you guys have any things that you've changed in your makeup routine, or any products that you have changed around, or things that you've discovered? I'd love to know what those are. I think some changes we make because trends change in makeup, but also some things change as we get older and as our preferences change. And coming from someone that is quite set in her ways, I don't change things a lot. Like, change is not something I look for in my life. So anytime I am making some changes, I feel like it's kind of a big deal, which is why I wanted to share those with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I hope you guys are all doing well. Let me give you one last reminder. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, be sure to do that before you leave. Lots of fun videos coming up this December. But that's gonna do it for now. Thanks again, you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Skin tone, it gives me just the perfect amount of contoury. Cali Ray mascara on. Getting the hiccups all of a sudden. Pure Nude highlighter from Essence. Oh my goodness, the hiccups. Foundation. Oh, I'm wearing my, not Mise-en. No, I'm wearing my Misha BB cream today.